Hey everybody, welcome to another entry in the Hyrule Compendium. We've been going through talking about topics mostly on Breath of the Wild, though we've done one non-Breath of the Wild video. Let us know what topics you'd like us to discuss in the comments, and we'll get to them. Today we're going to talk about the map in Breath of the Wild,
Okay.
because I've been watching you play through it sometimes on your 200% run, and sometimes you're negative about it slightly.
I love maps.
Uh-huh.
Maps are, this might sound weird, but in some games, maps are one of my favorite things in certain video games.
Okay.
Not usually like some of the dungeon maps I usually like. I just like looking at the landscape. The Resident Evil series comes to mind. I love looking at the maps like of the mansion and whatnot. So this map is different than anything we've ever seen before, and this game, I think, more than any Zelda game ever before, you actually you use the map, or you rely on the map a little more than I think other, especially if you're trying to find all the collectibles and you're looking at like a guide or something. Like we've got the big interactive map that has all the Korok seeds and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it. I think it's pretty good. I like there's little like the little nitpicking things that like, so like when you start the game, the map is obviously divided up by the regions that are associated with like the towers.
Mm-hmm.
But then like as you uncover the regions, then you don't even like though it seems like those regions are kind of arbitrary.
Yeah.
And then once you get the towers, there's no distinction between the regions anymore.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there's no like lines to show the grid. Oh, these are all in the Dueling Peaks region.
Mm-hmm.
So like, now this has nothing. This is not really a complaint about the game, but like, so I'm working on a Korok seed guide, and I divide them up by region. So I'm like, these are all the Dueling Peaks region Korok seeds. And then there's one that's right on the border. I'm like, is this in the Lake region or is this in the Dueling Peaks region? So I would go get it and then look at the map and see where the symbol is, and
That does seem like a pretty big problem.
yeah, bad Zelda game, 6 out of 10.
But I could still see like why they should like maybe have a border there or something like that.
Let me ask you: did you use a lot of the beacons?
Um, on my first playthrough, no, and then my second playthrough, which I haven't gotten very far in, I a little bit because I was trying to play with the mini map off.
Okay, all right. I like that's one of the features I didn't really use.
Mm-hmm.
I very very rarely did I actually use it because part of it a lot of the places I did mostly the main quest, and so it had the big yellow beacons already on the map.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already like following it, and I guess I didn't venture too often into the side quest territory,
Okay.
so I didn't really use it. But I know I asked it because I see a lot of just interacting with some of the other team members, and I see their screenshots, and they send me a screenshot, and I just look at their map, and there's like 5 beacons on their map, or
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh, they are using that, and I never used it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I was using it like I'd climb a tower or some whatever, and I'd look around and I'd see a bunch of shrines, and I'm like, oh, those
Yeah.
are important. Want to remember because depending on where you are, you can't see that shrine,
Right.
and I was kind of prioritizing going to them and stuff like that. So,
And the game actually kind of tells you to do that too.
Mhm.
I think in the when you're on the greatest plateau, and like when you're the first 4 shrines, like or after you beat the first one, they tell you to go up to the tower to look around and mark them on your map.
oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. So I was kind of doing that.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I said, I was like doing that because I was trying to navigate without really looking at the map, just kind of explore, and see what happens. But the beacons you can't see unless you have the mini map on, and you'll see them like
Yeah.
what direction they're in, or if you hold up the Sheikah slate. I kind of wish you could just see them.
They should just be permanently in the world. Like so, you know, if you put like a red beacon,
Mm-hmm.
Just make it. It's not realistic, but just make that light just be there
Yeah.
in the world. Just
Be like, oh, Link he now has he's got a Sheikah glass or whatever.
Yeah.
Like so you can see, you know.
Yeah, she got contact lenses.
Yeah.
One of the things that, like, for collectible purposes, so every time you get a Korok seed, it actually shows the label, shows the location on your map. So for people that are trying to collect all 900 of them, this is essential. Because can you imagine if they didn't have that feature, and you thought you've collected?
Oh my gosh.
It's like, I've gotten all the Korok seeds, and you look and you have 898.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what would you do with your life? Like, you would have
I can't
to.
imagine.
So at least now with those, because they're on the map, you can actually, you can look at a guide, you can look at the official guide or the interactive map, and then pull up your screen and then just check them off one by one. Okay, got that one.
Mm-hmm.
So at least it tracks that. Because in a lot of other Zelda games, that was never the case. It doesn't do that with, like, Post Souls. I don't think in Twilight Princess. Not that I remember.
Okay. That's good because I mean they had to have thought of that with 900 seeds, you know.
Let me ask you this: did you feel this sort of connects with the stables too? Because the map is sort of, everything's intertwined with the roads.
Mm-hmm.
When you were at the edge of the map, like the road eventually comes to an end.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like it was like a desolate area?
Like if I was at any edge of the map,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, what was even there.
Like, I'll give you the example. When I went into the Lake Tower region, going like south, and there's like a stable, and then the stable, after the stable, there's a road that goes and just ends.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, I'm like, why is there even a stable here?
Oh,
Like,
I see. Yeah.
what is the big idea? Like, why is it here? Where are they going?
Uh-huh.
What's the purpose of it? Why would anybody ever be here ever in the world?
That's interesting. I didn't even think of that. No.
Now, some of the stables, like they're like the one that's on the way to the wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. You're going to Gerudo Town. There's a wasteland along the way. There's a stable along the way. But other parts of the map, like when you're like in the Hebra region, almost like you're going from the Hebra region to the Woodlands region, and it's like there's nothing anywhere around here at all.
The only thing I could think of was like maybe beyond the edge of the map, there's something else.
But there isn't, actually, because it's like mountain ranges, desert, and then this is one of the few games where I don't think that's the case, actually.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, clearly there is something across that void to the north.
Yeah.
But now this is not a complaint. This is just an observation, and it felt
It's
weird.
interesting. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
I don't really know. Like, if you had to say, where's the center of the map? Where is it? Like, where is things more lively? I kind of view like Kakariko Village as sort of a center,
Yeah.
but then like Hyrule Castle is the center.
Right,
But then there's the Great Plateau as well. That's sort of the de facto center.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Hateno is pretty bustling, I'd say.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know. I just have a mental geography in my head, and it's like, why is stuff happening here?
That's just like very video gamey. Like, well, we need the stable there.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll say like the fast travel points were pretty abundant, pretty plenty.
Yeah, it was nice that you were like, it seemed my complaint with fast travel, it's too slow. It takes, I think, 31 seconds. I think at least I've heard it's faster on the Wii U, and if you have the digital copy. Anyway, it was nice that all the shrines, and I think they put the shrines in appropriate locations. Like, I think there was a shrine next to every single stable. Like,
Yeah.
immediately next to it. There was a shrine next to virtually every town. So that was a good idea.
Yeah, that was smart.
Maybe
Yeah.
they could have made. There was like that random, you can warp to the tech lab, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it was like, oh, you can do that. Like, Maybe they should have just made a warp point inside every single stable if they were going to do something like that.
Well, they got all those shrines. They might
Right,
as well
yeah.
use them. Maybe they should put a shrine by the tech lab.
Yeah.
And then what did you think of? We're sort of talked about the HUD or the on screen. You know, the mini map, the temperature gauge. You use the forecast very
Yes.
often.
I start getting very nervous when I see rain in the forecast when I find the campfire. I liked it. I liked the mini map. I immediately got disoriented and I'm like, okay, I'm really glad they make it so you can lock north up, to the top, rather than just whatever direction you're facing is, you know what I mean, the corner. So I immediately locked north to the top. It just made things less disorienting. I like the hub. It's not overwhelming.
Yeah.
In fact, it's
Conveys a lot of information pretty.
even with the amount of information it has, when you compare it back to previous HUDs, it has much less space being used.
They went very, very simple with a lot of the stuff, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like the noise gauge is just a small purple line,
That was that was probably the one thing on the HUD that I didn't really use too much.
Yeah.
It's conceptually I didn't get it. It's like right away. Because it's like you can sneak up, because even if you sneak up, if you're moving fast, you're still making noise. So you have to sneak up and go slow, or you need arm. Yeah.
Right. One thing that Locke pointed it out, I think during one of your streams, was that if you turn off the Pro HUD, so where you don't have all that information, you can still get that information, just not on the HUD, except for the forecast.
Right.
You can't figure out what the upcoming weather is going to be unless you pause it, turn the HUD back on, and then turn it back off.
Yeah, that seems like an oversight. I don't think that was intentional.
But for a player like you, that could be very
Detrimental.
You would just never
to my health. Yeah.
But overall, I think that was cool that you could turn that stuff off too.
Yeah.
Because the game also looks so much cooler when
there's nothing going on.
Yeah, you're just like looking at the sights.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, going back to the map, like I said, the map is more important in this game than I think it's ever been. Like in any, you don't need the map in Ocarina of Time or in Skyward Sword, but like in this game, I felt you needed the map.
Yeah, you can get lost much more easy in this game.
Yeah.
Overall, map was good.
Map was one of my favorite maps, top 5 maps.
Awesome. Let us know where this ranks in your top maps of Zelda, of any series. Let us know what you'd like to see in future maps. Let us know what else you want us to talk about, and thanks for watching.